Okay, today I'm here doing a follow-up video of the soil that we mixed up yesterday. Now when you mix up a soil, if you're mixing it up way in advance, I don't put any soil amendments in it. I just keep moisture in it. I make sure there's some food that the earthworms can eat. The old manure and stuff that we put in that mix yesterday, there's plenty of earthworm food, so it can be 2 or 3 months in these tubs as long as I keep them misted on top a little bit. A couple of times a week when I'm out here watering, I'll just water those tubs that we mixed up yesterday. And that will keep the earthworms alive and healthy. That'll keep our soils doing pretty good. Right before I use that soil, I can mix some of these amendments in it. And so the way that I would do that is we can just dump one of those pots in here, the big blue tubs that we put the soil in. We can put it in here, and then we can add about 2 or 3 tablespoons of each one of these amendments would go in to about a half of one of those blue tubs. So the way it works out for you at home would be like 1 tablespoon per 5-gallon bucket of potting mix. So if you're making your own potting mix and you want to mix these things in, I would put about 1 tablespoon per 5-gallon bucket after you have got it mixed. So go ahead and if you're doing a half and half of like a peat moss and a potting soil from the store, and you want to put these organic amendments into that, then it would be about 1 tablespoon per 5-gallon bucket. But I just want to show you the products that I use. Now, if I have enough worm castings and I have enough organisms in the soil, I don't use any of these things. The only reason I'm using these is my soils are not where they need to be yet, because we just started this greenhouse over a year ago. So the first thing I'm going to show you is azomite. So this is the powder azomite. I don't have the container this came in. It was just a white bag and it had a little tiny printed label on it. So there wasn't much to see. But you can get online and order azomite. It's just a mined mineral. So that's the azomite. And then the alfalfa. Alfalfa pellets come in a bag. And they look like this. Alfalfa. And you get this from a feed store like an Intermountain Farmer or a Tractor Supply or an Orchlands. But you want pure alfalfa. Sometimes it'll say alfalfa Timothy mix. Don't get that. Get pure alfalfa. The better way to do the alfalfa is to raise your own alfalfa. And then you have your own. The next product here to show you is bone meal. And this is what it looks like from the garden center, from Walmart or a Lowe's or a Home Depot. Bone meal. And this is a good amendment, and I love to use this one here. So the bone meal is great. A mouse made a hole in it and it's spilling everywhere. The next one is blood meal. This is what it looks like. Blood meal. This comes from a garden center, like a Walmart. And then we have another product here, and I've never talked about this product before in the past, but this is biochar, and this guy just put his label on it. This is a guy from, where is he from? He doesn't even say where he's from. He has an email, green@gobiochar.com. He needs a phone number and a website. So he does have a QR code. It's not going to help us with this video. But I got this free sample from the Utah Farm Conference. Jared brought this back home with him. He went down. I didn't make it to the Utah Farm Conference this year, which is sad. I'm almost always there, but this year I didn't make it. It's a great event. Everybody should go. This biochar is good stuff. So we can put some biochar in our mixes. These are eggshells that I've been keeping in the house. Don't let your eggshells rot in the house or it'll smell nasty. And then these are the bottles that I put this stuff in so that it stays airtight. But there's something I want to show you. I like to grind some of these things up. So I have a Ninja here. The Ninja grinds them very good, but it doesn't have a hole in the top of the blender to put stuff in while it's going. If I would have known that was the case, I probably wouldn't have bought the Ninja. I probably would have went with the Vitamix. But anyway, I'm going to open this up because I would like to add these as it's, you know, as it's going, because then it grinds them a little better. So I'm just going to put a couple of quarts in here. Almost filled it up. Put the lid on, push it down, turn the power on and high. So I want this to grind up to almost a powder, and it's absolutely dry. There's no moisture in these eggshells at all. I don't want any moisture in these eggshells until I put it in the potting mix, and then we just put it in the potting mix dry. So anyway, that's working pretty good. I've written on the top of these what goes in each bottle. Okay, that's good enough. Now I never do this in the house because it's a dusty mess. So I would never do this in my laboratory where my microscope is, and I don't do it anywhere in the house. It's pretty dusty, and the eggshells don't smell very good when you grind them. So you don't want that in the house. And now I'm just filling up my jar. Okay, there we go. So that's good. Okay, so the eggshells are done. So that's refilled and ready to go. Now the alfalfa pellets. So it's the end of the bag there, and so a lot of this was powder, and not as pretty as it ought to be. And turn the power on and high. That is so embarrassing. That is going to get edited. Okay, we're going to put this back in so it will work. There's that. Now we put the lid on, power on, and okay, while this is grinding, I'm going to go ahead and just top off the blood meal bottle so it's ready to go. Alright, I think that's as powdered as we can get it. So I've got the blood meal topped off, and that was the end of my blood meal. So when I fill up my jar for the last time, I know it's time to order some new products. when we're gonna get the alfalfa out here. Find our alfalfa jar. Had a big lump in there that didn't go all the way. Okay, I'm gonna grind it a little bit more because there's a couple of lumpies in there. I want to get rid of them. Alright, that did it. Take the lid off. I'm going to pull this grinder out now, and it'll pour better. If you had a worm bin, this would be a great food for a worm bin. Just sprinkle this out evenly on top of the worm bin. There we go. Alfalfa's topped off. I have another alfalfa jar right here. See if we can get the rest of it in there. Okay. Have to put the rest in here, I guess. Need another jar. Okay, there we go. So that's how we grind things up. Okay, here's the main 5 things that I use, and this is what we just did. I'm just gonna do, make sure that this is clear. Blood meal for nitrogen. Alfalfa meal to feed microbes, and the tricantanol, which is naturally found in alfalfa, and that helps to feed the plants. It's a growth stimulant. The bone meal is full of phosphate and calcium. The eggshells are full of calcium. The azomite is full of trace elements and trace minerals. And I'm going to be using some biochar this year, but I'm going to be doing side-by-side comparisons to see if the plants with the biochar in it do better than the ones that don't. And then we'll just see how that goes. Okay, hopefully talking about these amendments here today has helped you have the best garden of your entire life. Just remember, if you butcher your own animals, save the blood and dry it. If you eat eggs, save the eggs, dry them out. Keep them in a Ziploc bag, and then when you get a whole bunch, put them in your Vitamix or your Ninja and grind them up. Raise your own alfalfa. Cut it, dry it completely dry, stick it in your high-powered blender. Turn it into your own fertilizer. I guess you could save bones and use them, but the fact is, this is just kind of a specialty thing. I don't even think we need bone meal that much, because you're getting tons of calcium with the eggshells, and phosphorus is available. If you're using lots of compost that you're making, you'll have plenty of phosphorus. So bone meal maybe is a thing of the past, and we don't need it so bad. Azomite is alright, but we really don't need to buy azomite, because if you have enough fungus in the soil, they have the enzymes to melt down the rocks, so you're going to be getting all the trace elements anyway. What else can I tell you? It seems like I should tell you something else. Just get a tablespoon, add about a tablespoon of each one of these to a 5-gallon bucket of your potting mix. Okay, I think we're done. Are we done? I think we're done. Let's pack up. Let's go home. Here we go. Wait, I am home. Okay. Here we go. We can put this video on and schedule it so it's ready to go. All right. Okay, have a good day. Maybe you want to look around the greenhouse a minute. I started putting a few things up on the table, a few plants. I had some cracked wheat when I fed it to the worms. And now grass is growing from the cracked wheat, which means not all the wheat kernels were cracked, so that's funny. The compost is steaming away. It's doing good. I've turned it 4 times now. The crops look really good. I took the row cover off today because it was so sunny and warm. I guess that's it.